Hey everybody, it's Devon.
And Kate.
Welcome to Medcrimes.
I love this time of year.
Spooky
I am
season.
in my ghosty sweater. Also, I'm very much in my spook-ass element right now because Devon and I just had a fabulous trip to Salem, Massachusetts.
We're coming off a high.
Oh my God. It was very heavy being there because I learned a lot.
The witch dungeon was heavy.
Dungeon was heavy. The memorial was heavy.
Mm-hmm.
We paid our respects to those who lost their lives, and what an insane time to be alive that was.
Crazy. Smallpox.
Oh my God.
Land wars.
Famine.
Yep.
Like, just, I mean, what a freaking time to be alive. And, yeah,
we got
it
our
was
spook
amazing.
on, but we also learned a lot.
We also got our matching tatties on. We got tattoos.
We did do that. We did do that.
Anyway, we were having
Tied together.
Such a bestie moment. And thank you, Salem. It was beautiful. It was a gorgeous day. Everything worked out beautifully. And I can't wait to go back.
It was a good time. We really loved it. And so now today, Kate's wearing a ghostly, spooky sweater, and I am wearing a shirt from a Christmas amusement park.
Yep.
So, I'm ready out there to feed the Santas if anybody else is.
Twinkle
It's
the
like
lights.
I had our day. Halloween's coming.
Mhm.
I've started seeing some reels on Facebook and
Oh my
Instagram
God.
and whatnot
Me too.
about like me on November 1st and
Mhm.
doot, 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 doot. I'm like, oh, that's me. It's coming.
So that's like Devon's aesthetic. And then so me, I'm the one that's like in August is like starting with the heavy sweaters and
I know I'm sweating 90 degrees out
Yeah.
and she's got a sweater on.
and
It's
I've
fall
showed
now.
up and I was just like, oh, it's fall now. And
Today.
So now it's not even Halloween. Devon's like, oh, it's winter now. It's Christmas. Happy Christmas.
So we have a Patreon today.
We sure do. And this will be Allison Leave It.
Hi, Allison. Thank you for being our part of our family.
Allison, we leave it. We love it.
Oh,
Yeah. Also,
we love it. We leave it.
this was Devon's idea. Credit where credit is due. The mythical creature you are, inspired by Salem, witchery, and spookiness, is a familiar.
You are our familiar, Allison.
You literally are. And if you don't know what a familiar is, in witchcraft lore, it is a animal, any animal really, that is like a little buddy that kind of follows you around and just helps you enchant shit. So, Allison, thank you for being our familiar.
We appreciate you.
We love you so much. I wanted to take a moment and remind everyone to check on their Jewish friends because they are not okay.
No, they're not.
And it's a really critically horrible, horrible, horrible thing that is happening
It's
overseas.
unbelievable.
It's unprecedented. It's absolutely unimaginable.
Seeing
And
photos,
videos,
watching, it's awful. It's
it's
gut-wrenching.
the worst. So please check in with your friends who have family over there maybe, because it's very worrisome. And we see you, we love you, and we're so sorry that you have to think about
thinking of
this
everybody.
and go through this. Yes.
With that,
It's a Devonism.
we have a Devonism. Yay! Devonism, Devonism. I've been sitting on this story for a while.
You have, and I know nothing about it, and that's
We've been
so
sitting on
exciting.
this one. I'll tell you right now, it's a two-potter.
I love those words coming out of your face.
This is a story that is heartbreaking, gut-wrenching. Part one, I'm going to give you a lot of the background,
Okay.
set up the scene, give you some, what goes into the actual crime.
Okay.
And, but then we're going to get into part two, the devastating, the awfulness, but also perseverance of those that are involved
Oh, wow. Okay.
in part two.
I'm
So
psyched. Let's do this. I know nothing about this case, so I'm really excited.
I'm going to give you the murder of Dr. Andrew Bagby.
Ooh, okay. I'm ready.
Love his name, by the way.
Same.
Speaking of, if you listen, shout out to Andrew, the tattoo artist yesterday.
Andrew, you're the man.
I mean, hey. Thanks.
Thanks, man. We appreciate you.
So, Andrew Bagby. He was born in 1973 on September 25th. He was the only child to his parents, Kathleen and David Bagby, in Sunnyvale, California. His mother used to be a registered nurse and a midwife.
Oh, cool.
And she's from Chatham, England.
Ooh, cool.
I watched a documentary on this story. It's what got me into this story. And she has the cutest accent.
Oh, that's adorable.
It's wonderful. And his father was a retired U.S. Navy serviceman and an engineer. Andrew, throughout his life, by his friends, can be described like, I only hope that one day when I'm gone, you, personally, and other people would talk to me in a way that they talk about Andrew.
Oh, wow. So
that man was loved.
Wow, cool.
They described him as charismatic, opinionated, a good storyteller. He was short, but a giant of a man.
So he was a short king.
Yep.
Got it.
Selfless, animated, kind, caring, approachable, and intelligent.
Aww.
And one of the things that his friends about him made me laugh so hard. And they said, a man who never wore pants.
Whoa.
And it's
Hold
true.
on.
Like in all the pictures, he was just always wearing shorts.
Oh, okay.
There was a picture of him in a suit and he had shorts on, not like suit pants.
So, okay. All right.
So he was a man that never wore pants.
The man just did not prefer a long pant.
Yes.
He preferred a short.
He was the best man to essentially everyone.
Aww.
All of his group of friends wanted Andrew as their best man.
Sounds like he was pretty dope.
He was pretty dope.
Wow.
He was pretty dope. So as he grew up, normal childhood, again, only child. His parents had tried to conceive him for a long time.
Aww.
So they were a little bit older.
Mm-hmm.
And then he grew up and he ended up moving when he attended medical school in Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada.
2 excellent dogs.
I know, right? As I'm dog searching right now in my personal life, I keep typing Newfoundland and I'm thinking, oh yeah. But anyway.
Well, if anybody has any recommendations for Devon who is looking to raise a puppy as a family dog, please
we are
shoot
getting
her a
close.
Message.
I am tangent, not above bribing when it comes to potty training.
Oh yeah. You
and
will
I
get a
have
dog.
one already there fully. The other one is close and we are moving closer and closer. And I told them, I said, listen, you start wearing underwear all the time, we're going to get a dog.
Yeah.
And every time he goes on the potty, his big brother goes, we're getting a dog soon.
I freaking love that so much.
Yep. So we are on the hunt.
Yep.
We are searching. Newfoundlands are on the list.
So if you hear that, she does not mind hair or drool, and big dogs are awesome.
But hey, I'm also not opposed to hypoallergenic non-shedding dogs because that sounds amazing.
Great.
But I also am not going to spend thousands of dollars.
Okay.
So
no Frenchies for you.
Those are my terms.
Okay.
All
if
you
anybody has a
recommending
recommendation,
people out there,
throw it out there.
So back off the tangent.
Okay.
So he's in medical school, 1996.
Good for you.
He's 23 years old. And he, in his 3rd year of medical school, this is around 1999.
Okay.
He meets a brand new girlfriend.
Rare.
He meets a girl named Dr. Shirley Turner, and she is 12 years his senior.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, she's not in school. She's already, okay.
He just meets her while she's in school, and she's a little cougar.
Oh, okay.
Little
Well, he's in
background
school. Yeah.
about Shirley.
Mm-hmm.
Shirley Jane Turner. She's a character. She was born in 1961. That's why she's 12 years older.
Sure.
People checking my math.
Mm-hmm.
She was raised in Wichita, Kansas, with 3 siblings. After her parents had separated, she moved to St. Anthony, Newfoundland, and Labrador. That's where her
cool.
mother was from.
Okay.
So that's how these two go from being in the United States over to Canada.
Got it.
Okay. She went to Memorial University, where Dr. Andrew Bagby is,
Oh, cool.
but she went in 1980,
Okay.
much earlier. While she's in school, she gives birth to her first child in 1982.
Mm-hmm.
She continued her studies. Her first husband was a stay-at-home father.
Wow.
She's still going through school. 1985, she gives birth to a second child, and this one was a daughter. At that point, she was kind of also working as a science teacher.
Jesus.
Medical school is like rough for her. It's not an easy path.
I mean, I feel like for most people, medical school is not like a breeze.
Correct.
It's meant to be very challenging.
But
and
for
sort
her,
of
she was
consuming.
not
It didn't
succeeding.
come naturally.
It didn't.
her.
It's not even that she had to try hard because it didn't come naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Even if she was trying hard, it was not going well.
Got it.
So her and her while all of this is going on, she separates from her first husband,
Wow.
and she's having multiple different relationships. So this girl's got a lot going on.
So I kind of feel like, first of all, that she's a little bit of a badass for,
Yeah,
I mean, putting
little
herself through medical school, working as a science teacher, and also having 2 babies in the middle of all
However,
this.
she was not hands-on with those babies.
Oh, that's shitty.
It was really more of like, here, husband, you're going to stay. You're going to take care of them. I'm going to be the mom,
Got it.
but I'm not really involved.
This was still a very sort of atypical arrangement for the 80s.
Yes, it was.
Wow.
Very atypical.
Okay.
In 1988, she married another husband and then had her third child in 1990.
Okay.
So she's now had 3 kids within 8 years while going through school, changing some marriages.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of a badass in a way,
Sure.
but probably seems more like flighty,
Okay.
non-committal.
Got it.
She then, by 1991, ends her second marriage.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That
So
didn't last long.
she's still at this point, because, like I said, it's more flighty and having trouble with school. She still had not completed her education, and she was she didn't finish until 1994. So I said 1980 she went to Memorial University. She doesn't finish until 1994. So 14 years. Like, that's
Okay.
how fragmented it is
Got it.
and not
Okay.
going well.
Interesting.
Um
I'm surprised that they allowed her to, because I mean,
That
at
was
least-
mostly for undergraduate, though, from
Got
in
it.
my
Oh,
notes
okay.
here. So that's undergraduate, and then 4 years later, she did earn her medical degree.
Okay.
So going from undergraduate to medical degree
Mm-hmm.
was much smoother
Gotcha.
when she didn't have all this. She's
All
like,
that-
here, I got all that chaos out of the way.
Got it. Okay.
But like I said, she was distant from her family.
Mm-hmm.
Ex-husbands, her second husband watched all 3 kids,
Wow.
even though 2 were not his own
Mm-hmm.
while she was doing that.
Okay.
And then during 1998 and 2000, she served as a resident physician at a teaching hospital.
Okay.
So that's kind of where she was doing her residency. It was during that time that she meets Andrew.
Okay.
So that's a little bit of her background, kind of
Okay.
choppy, fragmented through
Mhm.
her education. So she's still in her residency when she meets Andrew, who's in his 3rd year of medical school. So this relationship was very rocky very quickly.
Oh no.
A lot of the friends, I'll kind of get to that in a minute, but obviously they're both in pretty high demand fields for careers. There's an age difference, not just age difference. You would think there's a maturity difference, but she definitely wasn't mature for her age.
Oh wow.
She wasn't not acting 40,
Okay.
you know, where
Yeah.
she's with a guy who's 27, 28 years old.
Yeah.
So, she was pretty abusive towards Andrew Bagby.
Oh.
She was
wow.
awful. She was often like verbally harassing him. She was the type of person that was just obsessively call and call and call If she was dealing with
possessive.
internal anxiety, she was like taking it out on whomever she was with.
Oh, wow.
She had a bad relationship history. She'd been through 2 marriages at this point.
Sounds a little toxic.
Yeah. She was possessive and jealous. He was very close. He had an ex-fiance at this point. So, which I'll get into just a little bit in a bit. But a lot of his friends, now he has a big, wide pool of friends, right? I talked about his characters, how he was everybody's best man as they were all getting married. And all of the friends were just like, one day, Shirley just like appeared. Like, Andrew didn't talk much about her, but then all of a sudden, like, they're in a relationship. She's appeared. She doesn't go away, and then she's just there all the time.
Oh.
They're like, it was just bizarre.
That's
First, there's no Shirley, then Shirley's around all the time.
Huh. Okay.
And they said that her behavior was very off-putting.
Oh.
So she would have really poor comments that were in poor taste, inappropriate, sexually inappropriate jokes. And again, you know, it's not to say that they were so young. You know, Andrew and his friends were in their late 20s.
Well, sure.
She's in her early 40s. But just that difference and that where she's supposed to be in her life as a mother of 3 children and a little bit more established, it just seemed everything was very inappropriate.
Very stark difference.
She would call up. So Andrew had, I'll talk about her in a minute, but Andrew had his ex-fiance Heather, and she would call Heather multiple times, and she would try to get information out of her, like what their relationship was like.
Okay, way over the line.
She was trying to talk to Heather. She would also be like asking details about their intimacy. She would give details about the intimacy between her and Andrew.
Oh, I'd be so pissed if I
Isn't
were
that
him.
crazy? It's
So
very like
inappropriate.
you're crossing over those boundaries, you know.
That's like
and she was very threatened by the fact that they were still friends. Andrew and Heather were previously engaged, young romance, and then they just kind of decided that as they were growing up and adults, that this was not the relationship that they saw for one another.
So amicable.
But it was an amicable ending. They were both moving on with their careers, and they were still very friendly. But Andrew had a really hard time when the relationship ended. He really felt like he lost the love of his life.
Yeah, I mean, that's
and it was tough for him.
Sure.
Even though it was amicable, he was sad.
Of course. You're allowed to mourn a massive relationship in your life. It sounds like it was very serious.
Yes. And he felt like his life at this just point wasn't what he wanted it to be.
Sure.
He's like, I had a vision and it's just not, I'm not there yet. So a lot of his friends were like, you know, you can do a lot better than Shirley. And he's like, no, I can't.
Wow.
Like he was really down on himself.
Oh, how sad.
Right?
How so sad.
Right? And it's not often that you see it. I mean, maybe it is more often than what we think, but you know, a lot of times we might see this from women settling, you know. But for a man who's going through medical school, going to be a physician, and then he's just like, no, I can't do better than this. This is all I can get.
In a really rough
he was in a
place.
rut.
Yeah.
So, and it was interesting to a lot of his friends, to just show the differences. Like they're in the prime of their careers, starting their programs, and she's done residency at this point now, and she still can't get credentials. Like it's so rocky for her.
So,
and I have an example.
Can't get credentials like is she not passing like
she can't get
exams?
Certified. She's not, the boards.
Wow.
Yeah. So she's just really like, this is not the career for her.
Shit. That's not good.
I have an example. So in 1999, during her residency, she was at a residency at a family practice in St. John's in Newfoundland. Turner's professionalism drew harsh criticism by her supervising physician, who stated she would become quite hostile, yelling, crying, and accusing me of treating her unfairly.
Wow.
During her remedial second residency period in the early 2000s, Turner missed 9 days of her 3-month rotation and falsified clinical reports.
Oh, shit. That's not good.
A patient of the clinic refused to return after an encounter with Turner.
Oh, no.
The staff became quote, so concerned about Shirley Turner's approach to confrontation and the truth that we would never give her feedback or hold any major discussion with her alone.
Wow. So, I mean,
nobody trusted being around her, not the patients, not her fellow classmates.
And did I hear you right that this was a remedial second residency? So she's having to repeat a residency program at this point because she's not being successful.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
So she's having a hard time in the grad, through the residency. Everything is fragmented. It's not a smooth process.
Sounds like she's got a big problem with like structure and following, a plan to completion.
She had also, at one point, she had been accused of stalking an ex-boyfriend. He was a medical resident who, like Andrew Bagby, was 10 years younger than her. When the longtime boyfriend wished to end their relationship, she allegedly began stalking him. She called him repeatedly. When this wasn't enough, she traveled to him, verbally abused him. In an attempt to quell her, to get Turner to just be like, let's stop.
Yeah.
The ex-boyfriend had allowed her into his home. And then this is where it gets nuts.
Oh, God.
So he's like really trying to just appease to her.
Yeah.
Like, let's just talk. She doesn't fucking leave. She camps out in his house. She let him in the door. She does not leave for over a month.
That is like...
She's like, nope.
That is a nightmare situation for this guy who's just like trying to de-escalate the situation and make a smooth break. She sounds like a totally toxic, narcissistic asshole.
Yes.
Wow.
And we're not done.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So she would try to physically assault him, give him emotional outbursts. This time, so then later, now he's like, I'm getting out of here. He takes off and goes to Pennsylvania.
Oh, my God.
Shirley is still not like, I don't want to leave you alone. She goes to his home and attempting a very elaborate and psychologically disturbing suicide. She had put on a black dress. She was holding a dozen roses. She had letters. One was a love letter to him. Another one was a suicide note. She had taken a whole boatload of over-the-counter medications and tried to attempt suicide. He found her like this in his apartment. She clearly survives, but this is just like how compulsive and obsessive she is towards getting this man to not leave her alone.
Was this like a true attempt and not a theatrical sort of...
I think it was theatrical.
Okay.
She was in a black dress.
Real...
She was holding a dozen roses.
But she
had the
actually
notes,
took
but she
pills.
did take the medications.
Okay, wow.
But I don't have records of like how long she was there when he found her. So like, was it enough to have her just lay there asleep, look dead? You know, I don't have a lot of that, but she certainly put on the show to make it look like this very big brought out suicide.
Yes. Okay.
So that's some of her history. Back to Andrew.
I'm pulling
this guy
for you,
that
buddy.
Everybody loves. He graduated medical school and he goes to do a surgical residency in Syracuse, New York.
Okay.
Shirley, they're still in a relationship, decides that she kind of wants to follow him to the States, but her next program lands her in Iowa.
Okay.
So they're doing a long distance thing, but they're both in the States.
Which is very common for people who are in relationships and in residency.
Yeah, especially when both of you are. You got to do your...
Yeah, I've a lot of the doctors I've worked with have their significant others, either their husbands, wives, or what have you, are like, oh yeah, they're in Hawaii doing their residency, and it's like, wow,
Yeah.
I think that's very typical.
So, they're managing this long distance relationship between New York and Iowa. But for Andrew, this first year in his surgical residency was grueling. Picture season 1, Grey's Anatomy,
100%.
When they're all surgical interns and how grueling it is for them.
Yes.
You don't have time for anything else.
No, you live and breathe.
No, that was all he was doing. He really realized, and I think I had somewhere in my notes that over that year, he only went to see Shirley once. She came to see him 7 times. Okay. So kind of maybe shows the commitment level to each of them.
Yep.
But within this first year, he's like, you know what? Surgery is not going to be my thing.
Really?
This is not going to be my niche.
How deflating for him
So
to have
he's
worked that
deflated,
hard,
but
yeah.
he's like, nope, I'm not going to go any further. So what he does do is he finds a family practice internship in Latrobe, Pennsylvania in July of 2001. This was his niche.
Oh, good for him.
He's like, general family practice. This is where I want to be.
Oh, good.
He really felt like, he was like, I want to be that physician for a family from birth to death.
Oh, cool.
I want to do the range of medicine that does all these diseases and ailments and follows. I can birth a baby. I could treat this, cancer.
That's great.
Send them off to the specialties, but do the whole person. And he was like loving it.
That's great.
He's
good
like,
for him.
okay, I'm getting out of, there's more to medicine than when people are asleep and I'm cutting them up. Like my patients can be awake.
Yes.
I love this.
Good for him. At least that's like a positive, that he found something that he really loves, hopefully.
Because of this confidence, it was during this time that he's like, I really can do a lot better than Shirley.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
He's
Andrew.
like, my life is turning around.
Yeah, buddy.
I've got the confidence and internship that I love.
Fuck yeah.
But because Andrew's not a dick, he has a hard time breaking it off.
It's
right?
okay to be rude in this situation if you're in a situation that is abusive.
So he struggled. He struggled a lot. So at this point in their lives, there's a lot of, remember our point in lives when all of our friends, they're all getting married, right? We've all found our people. I remember in one year I went to 3 weddings 3 weeks in a row, because it was just, we're at that age when everybody's getting married, the prime. And so he's in that season right now, 2001. Yep. His friends are doing their internships. Med school's done. Can we get married? Settle down soon. So he goes to attend a friend's wedding in July 2001, and he went without Shirley. Okay. She thought she was going to go with him. He's like, nope, we're going.
Okay.
She did not handle that very well.
Oh, shit.
She's calling him over and over every 1 to 2 minutes.
Oh, my God.
Pick up the phone, pick up the phone. She's in like this incessant panic. She leaves over 30 messages on his phone.
Oh, this is scary.
She's calling everything. At this point, he still had a home phone. In addition to a cell phone. This was early 2000s.
Okay.
I know some people still have both. Not many, but she's calling over and over and over. But he was just not answering. And they had that very obsessive compulsive part of the relationship over the next few months.
Okay.
Because he's pulling back and she's not handling it well. Right? So he's just starting to distance. But she does go to a friend's wedding in 2001 in October. So 3 months later, she does go to a friend's wedding of Andrew's because this was like a pre-planned thing. Even though they weren't really keen on Shirley, she was welcome to the wedding kind of thing. They were all trying to be amicable for Andrew's sake.
Wow. Okay.
So she does go to this wedding in 2001, but it was like astounding at how possessive she was over him. Like they're dancing and you can see a video of them dancing and he's just like looking around, like, I don't want to make eye contact with her, yada, yada. And she's trying to pull him in. Like, it's so like...
So forced, awkward.
Very forced, very awkward. She, of course, doesn't act right. During this whole thing.
This is like, I have goosebumps for this poor guy. Like, it's giving me so much anxiety.
He's the best man in the wedding. And someone at the wedding offered to go get him a drink. Yeah. And Shirley just goes, there you go. Hitting on the best man. Go ahead.
Okay.
She's being that awkward.
Oh my God. This is infuriating.
Yes.
Back the shit off, woman. Oh God, I cannot stand that at all.
He's like, all of his friends were like, in his mind, he's done with her.
This poor
guy.
But
I have a quote from a friend that says he didn't know how to be a son of a bitch to her because he wasn't a son of a bitch. And
Right.
that's why people loved him. But yet here it is. She's taking complete advantage.
And she's someone who, like, would need to hear that from him to know.
Correct.
It sounds like.
Correct.
Oh,
He
God.
needs for her make it very black and white.
Yeah, clearly. because
Anything
she's
that's not black and white, she's just taken to a whole nother level.
She's just, like, not responding to all of the other cues he's giving her. Like, obviously
Right.
his body language, the fact that he barely ever visited her when the two were in different states. Like, come on. Like, to
Mhm.
me, that would be, like, loud and clear. Got it. You know what I
So-
mean?
Correct. And so this wedding was mid to end October.
Okay.
Finally, on November 3rd, he says, Shirley, we're done. He takes her to lunch at an airport, sends her back on a plane to Council Bluffs, Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
They're in Pennsylvania. And he's like, you got to go. We're done. We're breaking up. He had his most son of a bitch moment that he could by saying, we're breaking up, and put her on a plane.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
Okay.
That's clearly the only thing that he could do.
Yes.
That was for him his son of a bitch moment. We're done. Get on the plane. See you later.
Which is, like, not even a son of a bitch moment. It's just him
Correct.
trying
No.
to protect
Correct.
himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, for most people, what would you do? Your boyfriend breaks up with you, puts you on a plane, and you're now 1,000 miles away. What do you do?
I would cry hysterically because obviously I'm very invested in this person,
You
but I would
grieve.
leave them
Mhm.
alone.
Because that's a pretty clear sign.
I don't want to be where I'm not wanted.
Yes.
That's like most people don't want to be where they're not wanted. Like if you don't
Correct.
want me, I don't want to be around you, bro.
What does Shirley do?
Not that. I am anticipating. I'm guessing she's just like, I don't give a fuck what you want. This is what I want.
Well,
Okay.
on November 5th, 2 days later, after the breakup, she shows up at his door.
No, she did not, Devon.
5:30 in the morning.
Oh my fuck, this woman.
5:30 in the morning. 2 days after the breakup. Knock, 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 knock
I gotta go.
on
Bye.
the door.
Bye. I'm nauseous for this guy.
So he's like, what the fuck? I don't even know what to do.
Oh my
He's like,
God.
she's here. I put her on a plane and now she's here.
My God. Poor
So
guy.
he agrees that he's going to meet up with her later that night. Like,
Okay.
we'll have a talk. I'll meet you at the park,
Sure.
but you're not coming in now.
Okay, that's
like,
fair.
I'm going to go to work. Whatever.
Like,
You're
I'll
here.
give you a conversation.
here,
I
we'll
owe you
talk.
closure. Like, I
Right.
get that, you know?
So his friend, this was a good friend of him. He calls him. He's like, dude, you're not just going to guess who just shows up.
No.
And his
no.
friend's like, dude, nobody drives 16 hours after you just broke up with him.
Literally no
Do
one.
not, like, they don't do that.
Wait, she drove? I guess I
She
didn't-
drove
Oh, God.
16 hours after the breakup to go see him. He warned her. He's like, don't meet her alone.
Yep.
And Andrew's just like, it's fine. We're going to talk. We're going to have the closure.
Oh, no.
That'll be that. His friend's like, literally, if they drive 1,300 miles and knock on my front door, I'm going out the back door. Like, this
Yep.
friend was just like, don't do this. But Andrew, wanting to believe the best in people,
No, Andrew.
so he's like, all right, if you're meeting up with her at 5:30 or 6, I forget the time that they said, he's like, but you and I, we're meeting at 7:30.
Okay, what a
Like,
good friend.
I want to talk to you after this is done.
Like, he's genuinely concerned.
Yes. So Andrew's supposed to go and meet Shirley at this local park called Keystone Park.
Good. Okay.
And then he's supposed to have friends to meet up with his guy friend after
Okay.
at 7:30.
Yeah.
Nine p.m., Andrew never shows.
No. Okay.
He's not there.
Oh, no.
He drives to his house. Andrew's not home. Car's not there. He's like, if I know anything about Andrew, he's never late.
He's probably the type of guy, too, that his friends like, he literally never would have done this and not called me or let me know if something truly came up. Like, we had plans.
Yes. And he's like, Andrew is the guy that is never late. He is always there.
Oh, my God.
Andrew doesn't show up for work the next morning. He misses morning rounds. Clearly out of character. He's not
He would
answering
never.
his cell phone, not answering his home phone. At this point, nobody's had contact with him in over 12 hours. In almost a day, but it's been over
fuck.
12 hours since he was supposed to meet his pal.
Wow.
And then at after 9 o'clock in the morning, his fellow residents that he's with at the practice in Pennsylvania are hearing that a body was found wearing scrubs
No.
at Keystone Park.
No.
They were all brought together in a conference room to be told that Andrew Bagby had died.
Oh.
So,
Oh my God, I'm ruined.
do you need a minute?
I mean, I knew it was coming. I just
I mean, the title was The Murder of Andrew Bagby.
yeah, I mean, I
so-
knew it was coming, but like this whole story just makes me so incredibly sad and angry so far. You know?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, this is so sad that this happened. Ugh.
So, Tuesday, November 6th. November 5th was the day that Shirley shows up at his door.
Got it. And
Tuesday,
so he
November
was-
6th,
Okay.
he was found lying behind his car at Keystone Park
How
on the ground.
Tragic. Ugh.
He was face down. He had been shot 5 times.
Oh my God.
He was shot in the face, chest, twice in the buttocks, and in the back of the head. He also had blunt trauma to the back of his head. Clearly, the immediate prime suspect was known, and there was huge evidence surrounding Shirley.
Oh my God. So, I mean, to shoot a man that many times, like and in the face, in the chest, like that is some anger. That is some fucking issues.
Yeah, because it's not just once to hurt you.
No.
It's not just I'm pissed, I want to hit you in the back of the head with
This
something.
is, you're going to die today.
Yes.
Oh my God.
There was an eyewitness that states that previous night it was dark, but he had seen that car with Andrew, that Andrew
okay.
was behind. He had seen a black SUV next to it. And Shirley drove a black Toyota RAV4.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that from an
Yep.
eyewitness account.
Okay.
But the crime scene had CC1 22 caliber bullets and live rounds at the scene.
Oh, wow.
In October, the previous month / weeks, Shirley purchased a 22 caliber gun.
Oh my God.
She had even received training with, what do you call it? Firearm training. She had received training on how to
Yes.
use the gun properly, shoot correctly, and she was learning how to use her gun.
In October.
Mm-hmm.
Like they
And
had
the
gone to
reports,
this wedding
they had gone
together.
to the wedding. Yes.
She was planning this.
The gun during her training had one flaw. It would eject live rounds.
Oh.
And that was in reports during her training. When,
oh my
when
God.
the people that are writing up reports
Really?
and whatnot, is that her gun did have a flaw,
Okay.
that it wouldn't just have the casings, but it would eject live rounds.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
This gun was never found. When
Okay.
Shirley was asked, okay, so we have record of you purchasing a gun. We'd like to see it, Shirley. Where's the gun?
It's
Can
gone.
you return it to us? Can we make sure that it doesn't match? Then we can
Mhm.
exclude you. And she's like, yeah, I'll get it to you. Gosh, where is it?
Oh, Jesus
It might be in my
Christ.
car. Oh, no, wait. Is it in my bedroom? Like, she's acting like, gosh, I haven't seen it in a couple days. I don't know where my gun is.
Okay.
No,
Wow.
gun was never found.
Oh my God. This is so. I feel like common sense here. Like, if she were really looking to get away with this, like, it sounds like she left quite a bit of evidence.
Yep.
Wow.
Wasn't thinking clearly,
She
huh?
was not clean and would not very methodical.
No.
And very sloppy. Interesting. Okay.
The other thing that she did that's kind of sloppy. So she tells her side of the story is that she was sick in bed, when police question her. So his friend knows, like,
That ain't true.
he's the only one that knows that Andrew called him at 5 and to say that Shirley showed up at his door at 5:30 in the morning.
Got it.
But according to Shirley, she was in Iowa all day sick in bed.
Okay.
She's like, nah, I was sick in bed. What are you talking about?
Does she not realize that there's like CCTV and stuff and like
They look at her
things-
phone records.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Here's her phone records. It essentially documents her road trip to Pennsylvania. So while she claims she was sick in bed all day on November 5th, at 7:08 and 7 p.m. from Chicago on Sunday, November 4th, her phone makes phone calls.
Okay.
10:19 p.m. in South Bend, Indiana, that same night. So 3 hours later, she's made it from Chicago to Indiana.
This woman is not very intelligent if she didn't realize that this was going to happen.
Then there's a documented phone call at 8:07 a.m. in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So she had already seen Andrew at that point. From his house, she logged on to eBay on his computer.
Come on. Are you kidding?
11:26 p.m. on November 5th, she makes a call from Cleveland, Ohio. So this is like after, like a documented phone call on her way back.
Got it.
And then a phone call in Stuart, Iowa at 9:48 a.m. on November 6th. So there's documented phone calls coming down to Pennsylvania and going back. So the last phone call that morning, the one at 9:48 a.m. on November 6th, it was to Andrew. So she knows he's already dead, but she calls him. And in the sweetest voice is just like, "Hi, Andrew. I just wanted to say hi.
Oh, my God.
I haven't talked to you for a couple of days.
Girl, stop.
I wanted to see how you were.
Bitch, please."
So while she's getting questioned, like, okay, so you say you're homesick in bed. What's with the phone records in all these cities?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I wasn't prepared to be questioned. Like, I kind of forgot. I guess I can't really recall and try to put it all together on what I was doing. I wasn't prepared for all these questions.
Did you just, like, think you were asleep, but then, like, I don't know, get in your fucking car and drive thousands of miles?
Yep.
But what's your explanation? I realize that you're a very disorganized, very erratic human being, but, like, answer the question.
Yes.
Why are we getting this data? Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing because she's absurd. This is absurd.
You also have to remember this is in 2001. And
yes,
so because
true.
But what I'm about to say is because the phone calls were made in various locations in different states, they had to check all the cell towers manually.
Oh, wow.
So to be able to, because even though they know they didn't have the murder weapon, they just know that Shirley had a gun like that, but they didn't have the weapon. They have all the documented phone calls, but they have to check each cell tower individually. So this took weeks.
Oh, my goodness. That's a monumentous amount of work.
Yep.
Yikes.
So what does she do? She goes back to Canada.
Hell yeah, she does. Bye.
She gets hell out of Dodge, goes across the border, and goes back to St. John's, Newfoundland.
Sucks.
So everybody's grieving.
Yep.
Everybody's mourning the loss of this beloved Andrew.
Oh my God.
They all believe at this moment in time Shirley was the one to have killed him.
It's pretty
just
clear.
Waiting for, the process to do its job.
Next steps.
They hold a memorial service in Newfoundland. All of his local med school friends, the friends that he had there.
Yeah.
Shirley went. She went to the memorial service and she was overcome with emotions. She was very overdramatic. Everybody's like, this is all just for show.
This woman is such a twat.
And then what does she do while she's there? She accosts Heather, the ex-fiance, stating that Heather was never important to him and that she was nothing. Shirley was everything. Heather meant nothing. She's everything. And because she's saying that Andrew never cared about her. She followed up with an email and she reiterated to Heather that because now that Andrew's dead, their love story is never going to die. He died while they were so wholeheartedly in love. Our love story never ends.
First of all, have you not fucked shit up enough for this person that you took his fucking life away? Mm-hmm. You want to sully his beautiful relationship and friendship with someone who he thought was the love of his life?
Yep.
Like, fuck you. Like, you're the worst type of person.
And so she's acting so obsessively too with Heather, targeting, saying that she was never loved. Heather's like, I fear for my own safety now. This woman's accosting me, talking to me about these things.
And like, she knows.
Yep.
Ugh, this one was the worst.
So that was the memorial service in Newfoundland. There is a memorial service held in the United States, and Kate and David Bagby, Andrew's parents, invite Shirley. They invite her in an attempt to lure her back into the United States.
Oh,
right? She didn't take that bait, though, unfortunately. Out of all these things that she's not smart, she was too smart for that.
Ugh. Of course.
So finally, December 12th. So the murder happened. He was last seen alive November 5th. They find him on November 6th. Finally, on December 12th, 2001, Shirley's arrested and charged in Newfoundland.
Yes.
They had enough together. They could arrest her in Canada, but then they had to start extradition process, right? However, she was let go on bail the very same day.
Guys, come on, man. What are you doing?
The Canadian government left her and let her out of jail the very same day.
Guys, no.
Yep. The prosecutor, Mike Madden, he already went into the arraignment with an agreement for her release, and the judge granted it.
Of course.
All she had to do was turn in her passport, post $75,000 bond, sign in once a week at the local PD, and promise to not leave Newfoundland. And we also encourage you to avoid contact with Kate and David Bagby.
Oh, come on.
That's it. His parents are like, she's clearly a flight risk. In the meantime, she went from Iowa to Canada while they were investigating. She's clearly could just go anywhere.
She probably has the financial resources to literally go anywhere she wants to go.
Yep.
Wow. Dumbasses.
So she was allowed out of the jail while pending extradition hearing if she met all these conditions. So the U.S. wants her back, but Canada's like, no, she can go. She can meet all these conditions. And I quote, with this, the government of Canada let a probable premeditated murderer walk the streets.
Yep, literally. Wow.
So she's charged, she's arrested, but she's free at this moment in time.
What the fuck?
She's not forced to go back to the U.S. until they go through the whole extradition hearings, and then until they go through trial with the murder.
Wow. Nice.
That's December 12th. February 7th of 2002. So not quite 2 months later, Andrew's parents, Kate and David Bagby, were notified that Shirley had held a press conference and announced that she is 4 months pregnant with Andrew's baby.
What? Oh my God. No. Devon, no, this isn't true. You're punking me.
And this is where we stop.
No, Devon, I hate you. Ah! Ruined me. You ruined me.
This is payback for all the other cliffhangers you've left me on. I'm sorry to all the innocent people out there that have to listen to all of our cliffhangers. But yes, Shirley is 4 months pregnant with Andrew's baby.
Oh my God, Devon.
And this is where I leave you.
I need to know what happens next. I'm dying. I deserve that. Anyway, wow.
Yeah.
What a freaking story.
I know.
I'm going to have a really hard time not Googling this.
I will tell you where I get my information from to all you listeners out there. You do have 2 weeks till you're going to hear part 2.
Ugh.
So if you want to spoil it, there is a documentary on Amazon called Dear Zachary.
Okay.
And I also got a lot of the information from a book written by David Bagby, Andrew's father, called Dancing with the Devil.
Oh, wow. So ominous.
That's the information that I got so far from this. And
okay.
That's where I leave you.
I wanted to add a little thing. If you or someone you know is in an abusive relationship or is afraid for their safety, help is available. You can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline, which is a 24/7 hotline. It's available day and night, 7 days a week, and in 200 plus languages. You can dial 1-800-799-7233, or you can text START, that's START, to 88788. There's also an official website. If you Google the National Domestic Violence Hotline, you can get to their website, and you can also chat online with someone. And there's a whole bunch of other resources, so please reach out if you or someone you know is struggling with this.
Thank you for that, Kate.
Anytime.
Thank you for listening, everyone.
Fuck.
You will hear part 2 on Halloween.
Okay.
If you want to continue listening to us, you can follow us on Medcrimes Podcast.
You can tweet at us at Medcrimes PC.
You can search for us on Facebook at Medcrimes Podcast.
If you wish to become a Patreon, you can find us at www.patreon.com/medcrimespodcast.
You can email us your crazy stories, comments, anything you want to say, topics at medcrimes@gmail.com.
You guys are awesome. We love you.
Bye.
Stay safe out there.